Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Chicago Blackhawks franchise mode here in NHL 23. So in last episode, we had the draft and the re-sign stage, and now we're up here in free agency. We don't really need to add any pieces to our team, really, except for a backup goaltender for sure. But the thing is with our team that is kind of concerning is the fact we do have tons of cap space available, so we are going to have a couple cap whales again this year, just because for some reason, even though we have like a full-on roster, we are still $51 million under the max cap. I don't know how much under the cap floor, like we could kind of check, I guess, via the trade screen. But yeah, this team is well below the cap limit right now. So we're probably going to have to sign some people to some big contracts. As you can see, we're at $46 million in cap or out of $97 million. So we probably need to at least get up to like 80 something. Well, maybe not 80 something. Maybe actually around 80 something. I don't know what that actually is. Maybe 70 something. I don't know what the floor is, if there's a way to check that out. Maybe it shows in free agency. What is the floor? No, it doesn't say the floor anywhere, I don't think. But anyways, yeah, we're going to need to sign some big people to big contracts just to kind of give ourselves a more realistic cap thing. The good thing about it, this upcoming offseason, or the offseason after this, I should say, is at least we have a lot of young guys that are going to be up for renewal. So we're starting to get back to cap floor. Also, when guys like Asher Vance's contract comes to an end, obviously he's going to be taking up a big chunk of money, and we won't have that problem anymore, which would be great. So... But for now we have a few guys that are just ending out their ELCs that are going to eventually want a lot of money next offseason as well, and that should help us get to not having to deal with signing like cap whales and all that type of thing. But anyways, before we get into this free agency and also starting up the season simulation, which should be enticing, I'm very excited to see what Vance could do in his second season. We do have a number of comments to go over, so the first one is from Saturn Otaku, who says, you could bring in Nick Suzuki and play him on the wing. Now, I don't think it's like something I'm going to do, because Nick Suzuki, like, even if we played him on the wing, I don't really think it would be worth it, because you look, here's our centers. Vance is playing on the wing this season again, probably, so we'd be having like Byfield and Nazar in the middle on the top two lines, and then basically, yeah, Vance would be playing on the left side. We'd also be playing like Holtton on the wing. Like, we don't have a lot of good wingers, but I still would not want to bring in Suzuki, I don't think, just because of the fact he's more of a center to begin with, and I don't want to have a lot of guys that could just win faceoffs. I mean, it could be good in a sense because I could alternate between who's taking the faceoffs, but I don't see the need to have Nick Suzuki, especially when we have all these young guys. Like, it would take away ice time from a lot of these type of guys that I would rather get ice time, like Brad Lambert, for example. So I think Nick Suzuki is not going to be somebody I'm going to bring in. Next comment is from Pens Gaming 7. He says, what I always do to get to the cap floor is sign a veteran free agent at 10 million or whatever and have them play them as in an injury backup. It's unrealistic, sure, but so is the cap system and franchise mode in general. Also, the fact that the AIGMs are unwilling to get rid of bad contracts, which is true. So he's basically saying to do what I said to do, which we need a backup goalie for sure. So we're definitely going to sign a backup goalie to probably a max contract, I'd say, or close to a max contract. And then some depth forwards will probably give like $5 million each to at least, and that way we kind of have our cap hopefully near the cap floor, because it would just be kind of annoying if it wasn't. And then the last comment is from Hockey Guy 88. He says the cap situation is pretty annoying. I would sign a backup goalie and a depth player to two huge contracts. Thankfully, this should be in the last season. You have to deal with this because Korchinski, Holton, and Nazar are all in the last year of their ELCs. So yeah, that's gonna at least help us out quite a bit. Also, like I said, when Vance his ELC comes to end, he's gonna probably, like, since he's a high elite player, I could see him easily getting like $15 million depending on how much points he's putting up. So yeah, this team eventually is going to be kind of close to the cap floor, which is going to be good, or at the cap floor a lot of the time. So because we do have a lot of good stud players on our team. But anyways, let's get into those free agent signings. So we need to sign ourselves a goaltender and 2 depth forwards, 1 to 2 depth forwards. And some of them might honestly just be in the AHL next season, but we still need to get ourselves some cap whales. So let's sign ourselves that backup goalie, which I wrote down. I want to sign Danil Tarasov. He is one of the younger goalie options out there. Also, if we look at his stats from the last season, you can see he had a pretty solid season, .914 save percentage. The year before he had a .913, so I kind of like his stats. Also in the playoffs, he has played some games and he has had some pretty good numbers in the playoffs before. So I think he'd be a good add just in case Comesso doesn't play good in the playoffs again like he did last year. So we are going to sign Tarasov as our backup. We're only going to give him a 1-year deal though, just because we are going to do that. And I'm going to give him a max deal, I think. Should I give him a max deal? Yeah, I think I'm going to give him a max. I don't know if I should give him a max deal. It seems completely unrealistic. Let's give him like 18.5 for 1 year, which is outrageous to give to a backup, but there's some free money and that will at least get us up there in cap space. It's not like we're going to be able to trade Tarasov anyways, so you get to enjoy that $18 million as a depth goaltender, or actually a backup goalie. Then we're going to sign ourselves some depth players. I probably would like to sign ourselves a depth defenseman just because I don't think Alex Vlasic is really the depth defender I want in the lineup. So I wrote down, who did I write down? Oh yeah, Noah Juleson. He's a 79 is the only thing, no, so I'm going to have to scratch him over Edvinsson, but he's pretty solid defensively, and that's why I wanted to bring him in, if I can even find him now. Where is he, or did I miss him? Where is he? Maybe he's not a 79, maybe he is a 78. I wrote down 79, but then again, I could have just overread somehow. But yeah, we just need Noah Juleson. Or did I miss him already? I hate when I can't find players, because then it takes a while to find them. And I really want to just get this started next season, because I am very excited for, like I said, Vance to see what he could do in his second season. Because he had 32 goals in his rookie season, and he also showed us what he could do in the playoffs. So I feel like this guy could hit 40 goals this season, which would be probably pretty damn good for his second season. Maybe even 50 goals if he and some other guys get some good chemistry together. I don't even see where he is. Why don't I see where Juleson is? I know I've seen him at free agency. We're going to have to go alphabetical, so this might take a little bit of time, but it is what it is. Once at least we get to depth forwards, we're going to probably sign Curtis Douglas, which is an interesting one. It's because he's pretty physical, and he's actually kind of like a fourth liner. He has good face-off stats, so I thought it would be probably a good idea for us to sign somebody like him for a fourth line or / depth forward. So we're going to give him a big contract as well once we find Noah Juleson, which should be soon. I don't know why I couldn't find him. Maybe he did show up, but I just didn't see him, because sometimes it's hard to tell where players are. There he is. Actually, he is a 78. Okay. So we're going to give him a 1-year deal and not a 2-way deal. You're going to get paid not a max salary, but we're going to still give you like $6 million maybe to be a depth defenseman for us. But at least these guys are getting some money, you know. I feel like at least I'm setting them up for life, you know. They get the chance to get themselves a nice house or something with this money. So yeah, 1 year at $6 million for Noah Juleson, which sounds outrageous doing that. And then we need our depth forward, which is going to be Curtis Douglas. So let's just keep on going in alphabetical order just to make this a little bit easier. But yeah, Curtis Douglas will be our depth forward probably this season, or he might play in the AHL, but he's going to get paid big money anyways. I just need to make sure that we get ourselves some cap oils here. He's listed as a fourth line forward, which is the only thing, so he might play in the AHL. He's not the best offensive player, but he's got a really good hard shot because he's a big guy, obviously 6'8", 243. He's got good skating for his size as well, and of course he's got good physical because he is a monster on skates pretty much. So we'll give him a 1-year deal also at $6 million. And hopefully that gets us to the cap floor. If it doesn't, we might need to sign another player, so we'll definitely take a look and make sure we're at the cap floor once we get these guys signed. Because there's no question that these guys aren't going to sign because we're giving them so much money. So there you go. Let's advance a few days and see if we get those guys in, which hopefully we do. And there we go. So Juleson, Tarasov, and Douglas have accepted, which means, are we at the cap floor? I just want to make sure we're at the cap floor first. We are not. Are you kidding me? We're literally a little bit below. Okay, let's sign one more player. Do we have the contract space still or not? We do. Okay. Okay, that's good. So let's go to free agency again and sign one more player that's not a great overall. That doesn't want... Yeah, we gotta find just one more forward that's like maybe like a 73 or yeah, maybe a guy that wants just like, I don't know, a couple $1 million we'll give him. I don't know how much money we have to give him. Maybe, yeah, I'll give him like 4 million, maybe 5 million just to play it safe. Actually, there's a lot of 58, so maybe I shouldn't sort it like that. But let's just find somebody that's like on the cusp of the NHL that already has played some time in the AHL, give them a good amount of money. And I don't care who it is. It could be a forward, it could be a defenseman. Actually, it probably should be a forward, I'd say. Let's give it to maybe Steven Lorentz. He's decent, right? Yeah, he's okay. Yeah, we'll give it to Steven Lorentz. Why not? We're gonna give you, let's say 5 million, just to play it safe with our salary. Like, these guys aren't going to be able to get traded away probably giving them this much money, but at least he gets us to the floor, and that is all that matters. So there we go. That is our last cap whale likely, and then we should be at the cap floor. I do not need to make no trades for Andrew Kopp, but thank you. There you go. Lawrence is accepted. So now we should be at the cap floor, right? Yes, we're at just above the cap floor. There you go. So that is good, and we have a lot of space to make trades if we need to. But let's begin the descent to next season, and then we can adjust our lines and all that stuff and see what we're working with for the start of the 2026-2027 season. And like I said, let's see what Vance could do. I honestly think he's going to hit 40 goals this season because, I mean, if he scored 32 goals in his rookie season and he's shooting as much as he did, good chance that with like some growth throughout the season and whatnot, he's going to hit 40 goals. Also, what he did in the playoffs was great, like the 8 goals, and I think it was in 11 games, or was it 14 games? No, it was in 11 games. So he was almost a goal a game in the playoffs, over a point per game in the playoffs. So I think he could definitely step it up this year and show us what he's made of, which is good because obviously we want him to get like to a 90 plus overall. I haven't had much high elite players in franchise mode, but some of you guys said that they don't really develop that well. But even if he stays as a career 87 and he's scoring a lot of points, that's not that bad. So what do we got for our lineup? Let me just make sure who's scratched. I do not like that Lucas Reichel is scratched, which means Curtis Douglas, you're going to the bench, buddy. Let's move Reichel to... I could play Kershev as the 4th line center and move Reichel up to there. Yeah, that's not bad. Zari's got 81 on faceoffs. Reichel has got only a 73, so we'll play something like that. Yeah, this is actually not looking too bad. Yeah, I'm liking the looks of this team right now so far. Do we want to play? Yeah, we probably want to play Pedersen between the middle because Lambert wasn't good at faceoffs either. We got a lot of right-handed shooters though on that second line, which is a little bit odd. I could always move one down, but they're all listed as second liners right now, right? Except for Lambert. Yeah, we could try actually Lambert maybe on the 3rd line then if he's still listed as a 3rd liner. I like Lambert a lot, but I might want to just try him on the 3rd line and try Reichel up on the top 6 just for something different. And we'd have Douglas and Lorentz scratch. We need to call up a depth defenseman though. And our defensive core, we will... It doesn't have the best chemistry, our defensive core right now. No way to really get rid of that minus, I don't think. And there's one away. We'll try that, I guess. Yeah, we'll try... Yeah, we'll try this. Yeah, that should be okay. It's not the best defensive core chemistry-wise, but it works. Let's just call ourselves up a depth defenseman so we actually have somebody up here in case of any injuries for defense. Like, Hayes is technically a good NHLer. Like, I could have Hayes in the NHL lineup, but not going to do that right now. We'll call up Juleson just so we don't take away ice time from Isaac Phillips. And that way we have all our cap whales, or 2 cap whales, scratched. Or, yeah, all 3 of our cap whales are scratched, which is exactly what we need. Okay, let me take a look at the special teams quickly. Vance on the point with Halton and Byfield and Zar and Pedersen. So all forwards on that unit. Interesting. Zari, Lambert, Kershev, Girard, and Korchinski. There's minuses on this unit. Huh. I feel like I should move somebody to the 2nd unit, but I don't know who. And maybe I'll just keep it the same for now, because maybe it will still simulate well. Penalty kill wise, Pedersen and Zari, that's okay. Reichel and Kachuk, that's okay. And Byfield and Kershev, sure. I don't really care about our special team lines right now, unless they start simulating pretty bad. AHL wise, let's see what we got for lines. Patterson, he's a new young goalie. Ratzlaff is still in the AHL. This is 73. Mickelson's up to a 74, so the backup is somehow outgrowing Ratzlaff, which is interesting. Yeah, I guess Patterson would be scratched still. And then the rest of the lineup looks good because everybody else is pretty much in the lineup. So we'll leave all that the same. And there is our lineup for this season. I'm very excited to see what this team could do. I am very curious on Vance and how he's going to perform. Okay, so now that that is done, let's get simulating a little bit. We'll simulate probably up to January the 1st. So a good chunk of simulation, just because I want to get the season through as fast as possible in a sense, but also want to take it a little bit slow just in case this team really does bad, because you never know how this team is going to perform. So let me just make sure we have our right head coach. I don't remember if our head coach retired at all or not. I don't think he did, right? Just because I got to double check on that front. Yeah, we have the right coach. Okay, good. That is good. Okay. So let's see what this team could do in 2026-2027. Let's go through the preseason and see what the team does preseason-wise. Probably should be a pretty good preseason, considering we have a pretty good roster. Okay, never mind. It's going to be a terrible preseason, which means it's going to be probably a good regular season as we go 2-5 somehow. And Vance led the team with 5 goals in 7 games. So yeah, I think Vance is going to have a breakout year this year. I am really expecting him to have a good year. You guys should drop your predictions on what you guys think Vance is going to get for goals this season before the season starts. And yeah, I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna go out and say 40 goals. I'm gonna say 40 goals on the dot. I don't know if he's gonna hit 50, but I feel like he could be in between 40 and 50, somewhere around that too. But yeah, drop your predictions down below, just because I am curious on what you guys think he's going to get, because obviously we're only going to simulate half the season in this, so the next half of the season we still will leave up to what he ends up doing. Like, maybe if we end up bringing in somebody good to help him out, he'll even score more goals. But yeah, let's see what he does. So we'll go all the way up to, let's start up to December the 1st, and then we'll do one more month to January the 1st, and we'll see what this team is looking like at that point in time. So starting off with a lot of wins and good goal scoring, which is a great sign. Wow, we had a 7-1 win, a 6-1 win, so some good defensive play as well, looks like, from the team. But we are losing a couple games here early on as well. But off to a good start. You love to see it. 7-3-1, 8-3-1. Yeah, our team's looking actually pretty good in terms of the simulation. Like, we're not giving up a ton of goals, but we are actually, never mind. Now we let in 7 goals as I say that. Of course, I always speak too soon in things, it seems like, in these type of franchise modes. So Brunstrom's been injured with a sore foot. That's not good. We'll go replace player, I guess. So that is going to give Noah Juleson some top pairing time, which is a little bit weird. And we drop a couple games because of that. Byfield's over point per game. That's a good sign. 23 points in 22 games. So it looks like the top line's doing well. And we are currently second place in our division, only behind the Jets, who are off to a really crazy start, 16-2-1. Wow. But currently, if we were in the Pacific Division, we'd be the top of the Pacific. If we were in the Metropolitan Division, we'd be the top of the Metro. So those divisions are pretty weak. And then the Atlantic is very strong. Wow, yeah, the Atlantic is cruising right now. That's a bit scary. Let's continue simulating. I don't care too much about individual stats just yet. I just want to get to around the halfway point of the season. But we're not going to go right up to game 41. We're just going to go to January the 1st. So that way we have a lot of chunk of season to simulate. Like, we might do all the rest of the season in next episode, or we could just simulate up to the trade deadline in next episode. It's up to you guys on that front. Depends on, I guess, how we simulate. But there you go. We got Brunstrom back in. Always when I think of Brunstrom, I think of Fabian Brunstrom, who used to play for the Dallas Stars. I remember that guy getting like a hat trick in like 2009. But Ian Mitchell has been injured. We'll go replace player. That's not great, but at least we got Noah Juleson here, who's making a lot of money, so he's going to get a chance to play. But yeah, this team's looking pretty good so far. 17 wins in their first, like, 28 games, I guess, if you're doing some math. So Juleson, we're going to take you out. Ian Mitchell back in. There you go. Like, our defensive core is definitely still a little bit weak since losing Manson and whatnot, so that would be an area to upgrade in a sense, but I mean, we're winning games, so it's not the end of the world. Maybe our goaltending's been good. There's 2 straight shutout wins, which is interesting, and then we lost the last game via shutout. But 23, 10, and 4 at January the 1st, that's pretty damn good. And Byfield's still point per game, so our offense must not be lighting it up completely unless there's very good depth scoring, because if only one player is point per game, you know. But we are currently top of our division now with 50 points, and we are also currently the top team in the entire league. So we're in a good spot here at January 1st, so I don't really know what this team needs to do in terms of changes, if there is anything. Let's take a look at their team stats first. So currently we are first in the league, which is good. We are scoring 3 goals per game, which is not top of the league. It is around mid-table, maybe a little bit below mid-table. Actually, yeah, below mid-table. So our offense hasn't been the best, but our defensive play right now has been the 3rd best. So even though our defensive core is a bit weaker on paper, it is one of the best in the league apparently, and our goaltending has been good as well. Power play percentage, our power play is one of the worst in the league, so I guess we should rework our power play lines a bit. Maybe because of that -3 chemistry in the second unit, we could definitely rework some stuff based on what you guys think we should do with it. And our penalty kill probably is, yeah, it's looking like top 12 maybe, 86.2, so it's been pretty solid. But are we one of the least penalized teams in the league? Yes, we are. So we don't take a lot of penalties, which is a good sign. 11, 3, and 2 on home ice, so really good on home ice. A little bit worse on the road, though. 12, 7, and 2, 6, and 4 in our last 10 games. Okay. Let's take a look at those player stats so far. So far, Byfield, 37 points in 37 games. He's been great so far. I am glad I have not traded away this guy yet, because I think he is definitely worth his money. Asher Vance so far is 34 points in 37 games. He's up to an 88 overall, and he's got 19 goals in 37 games, which means he's on pace for how much goals? Let's do some math here and open up a calculator. If I can open up the calculator on my computer. I am curious on how much he's on pace for. Somebody could probably do it in their head right now, but still. Let's see what he's on pace for in terms of goals. If my mouse would stop glitching out here, and let's times that by 82. He's on pace for a 42 goal season right now, which is pretty good. And he's shooting what percentage? 13% right now, so hopefully that improves. But he's already got 5 game-winning goals as well. He's been pretty damn good. He's not taking a lot of face-offs because we're using him as a winger. But yeah, he's looking pretty good so far. And then Nazar's been really good too, I would say, for the most part. 22 points, 37 games. Reichel, Kurashev, Lambert. Lambert's actually been kind of quiet, which is a bit weird. Maybe I should move him up to the top 6 and get the offense going. Pedersen's been really quiet. Wow. Maybe I gave him a good contract in a sense, because if I gave him like $8 million, that'd be kind of concerning. He's not been the best player, to be honest. 13 points in 37 games is not great, but his face-off numbers are good. I know he's a two-way forward, but his stat line has not been that great so far. Glad I didn't really overpay for him yet. Kachuk is even outscoring him with 15 points. Haltonen's got 33 points, so he's been good, but he's only scored 6 goals. Interesting. And then defensively, it's been pretty solid. Wouldn't say there's anybody bad in terms of this. Edvinson's jumped up to an 80, might be statistical though. And Camesso has been phenomenal. Wow. Camesso's been elite. He's got a 922 save percentage through 33 games. He's also got a 237 goals against. And he's got 3 assists already, and he's not even halfway through the season. He's been a beast. Wow. He might be the reason why we're actually doing as good as we are. Let me take a look at some stats quickly across the entire league, see what we got here. So there's actually a lot of guys that over point per game, but actually the scoring might be down in the league this season. Yeah, the scoring might be down this season, because there's not a lot of guys that are super crazy over point per game, I guess. So actually, no, we played a lot of games by comparison to some of the other teams, so maybe not. Let's see, on defense, no defenseman is point per game. And goalie-wise, Camesso's got the most wins right now in the league, and look who has the most next to him is our former backup in Philip Gustafsson. That's kind of funny. Save percentage-wise by a starter so far that's played a lot of games. Camesso is leading the Vezina race, it looks like, as well. Maybe. Him and Samsonov probably. But I would probably give it to Camesso. More wins. better save percentage. Yeah, that's interesting. Best rookie skater so far, Nilstorp in San Jose. I don't really know what we need to do. We probably just need to change up that power play lines, and that would probably help us out a little bit. At least I'd say. Let's maybe go and adjust that already. Just because might as well. And then if you guys think there's anything else we should change in terms of the power play lines, let me know. Like, Pettersson's on the top power play unit, but he's not producing that well. So maybe I want to move him to the second unit and put Byfield down the middle. Maybe it's because we have like 2 snipers up there. I don't even really know. Let's move Holton up. We'll take Pettersson off this top unit, and we'll throw in Sam Girard. And then we'll put Pettersson in the middle here instead of Zari. I want Pettersson to get some power play time, but we got to make some changes here. And who's going to be at the point, though, in this unit? Brunstrom, I guess, since he's a two-way. That improves it a bit, but the chemistry is still a little bit off. I don't really know why. Maybe we just might edit our power play strategies a little bit. This line has more minus, or not as good as it was. Let's see. Let's try and fix this up a bit. So Nazar will be the distributor. Vance will be the finisher. And then the puck carrier will be Girard, probably. So we're going to try and see if the strategies even fix anything. I don't think they do anything simulation-wise, but we'll try it anyways. See if that helps out with anything. So the finisher on this unit would probably be the best shooter, which is probably going to be like Korchinski, I guess. I don't even know. And puck carrier, we'll give that to Brunstrom. Why not? And yeah, Lambert's the distributor on that unit. So we'll just try that out and see how that works out in next episode for sure. Actually, also I was thinking about Reichel, moving him down, remember? So yeah, we're going to move Lambert back into the top 6 because he's been not doing too well. We'll try Reichel back on the third line. I was going to try Reichel up on the top 6, but he wasn't really doing much. And then Lambert has been doing better as like a third liner, so yeah, Lambert back to the top 6 should help us out a little bit as well. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Chicago Blackhawks franchise mode. So next episode, we might simulate the rest of the season. I don't really know if we're going to be making trades. I didn't show you guys the trading block, but honestly, don't think we're going to be making trades. I think we should just keep the team as is in a sense and trust in our system and our prospects at the moment. But yeah, I think in next episode, we'll probably end up simulating the rest of the season, just to get it out of the way and see what this team again could do in the playoffs, because if we're getting growth at least from our younger guys, this team should be a playoff team and stuff like that this season and hopefully the next season and whatnot. But yeah, hopefully Vance continues his hot hand this season and gets up to 40 goals or whatever. And yeah, I don't think we're going to be honestly making a trade. There is some players out there. If you guys see anybody here, I know I'm kind of flipping through this fast, but I almost forgot about checking this. So yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. So yeah, next episode, we'll simulate the rest of the season. We'll see if this team's a playoff team, and we'll try and get those power play numbers back to being pretty good, because we have some good talent. We just need to find a way to capitalize on our power play, it seems like. So you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.